This is how to rewire your brain in 30 days, a practical science-based guide to becoming the person you were always meant to be. This is not a motivational speech, this is not empty positivity. This is a blueprint built on decades of neuroscience research, designed to give you real measurable change in just 30 days. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let us begin. Chapter 1, The Truth About Your Brain. For most of human history, scientists believed the human brain was fixed. They thought that once you reached adulthood, your personality, your habits, your intelligence, and your emotional patterns were set in stone. You were who you were, and that was that. If you were anxious, you would always be anxious. If you struggled with focus, you would always struggle. If you had a bad temper, that was simply your nature. But in the late 20th century, something remarkable happened. Scientists using new brain imaging technology began to see human brains change in real time, not over years, not over decades, but over weeks, sometimes even days. They discovered that the brain is not a static organ. It is a living, breathing, ever-changing network of nearly 100 billion neurons, and every single thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, physically reshapes it. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity, and it is the most powerful tool you possess. Neuroplasticity means that your brain can form new neural connections throughout your entire life. It means that the person you are today does not have to be the person you are tomorrow. Anxiety, depression, self-doubt, procrastination, anger, addiction, fear, none of these are permanent. They are simply patterns that were learned, and anything that can be learned can be unlearned. But here is what most people do not understand. Your brain does not change because you want it to, it changes because of what you do, what you think, and what you repeatedly expose it to. Every thought is a vote, every habit is a wire, every choice is a chisel slowly carving the shape of who you are becoming. There is no neutral ground, there is no standing still, you are always in motion. The only question is in which direction. Chapter 2, Why You Are Stuck. If change is so possible, why do so many people feel trapped? Why do we make the same mistakes, fall into the same emotional spirals, return to the same toxic patterns again and again? The answer lies in something neuroscientists call the default mode network. This is the part of your brain that runs on autopilot, and it controls roughly 95% of your daily behavior. Your morning routine, your stress response, your cravings, the people you attract, the way you speak to yourself, all of it is being run by deeply grooved neural pathways formed years, sometimes decades ago. These pathways were built through repetition. Every time you experienced rejection, fear, shame, or love, your brain took notes, and those notes became the script of your life that plays automatically every single day. When you try to change without understanding this, you fail. You rely on willpower, and willpower is a finite resource. It runs out by noon. That is why diets fail, that is why New Year resolutions collapse by February, that is why you keep saying you will start tomorrow and tomorrow never comes. You are not lazy, you are simply trying to overpower a network built by 20 years of repetition with 30 minutes of motivation. To truly rewire your brain, you must stop fighting your patterns with force. Instead, you must replace them with new patterns repeated consistently until the new wiring becomes stronger than the old. Change is not about effort, it is about repetition. The river does not carve the canyon through strength, it carves it through persistence. Chapter 3, The 30-Day Principle. Why 30 days? Within 30 days of consistent practice, new synaptic connections start to stabilize, old pathways start to weaken, the new behavior begins to feel less foreign. 30 days is long enough to produce real change but short enough to feel achievable. By the end of those 30 days, you will not be a finished person, but you will be a different person. You will have proven to yourself that you are capable of change, and that proof is what gives you strength to keep going. The key word here is consistent, not perfect, not intense, consistent. 5 minutes every day is infinitely more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Your brain does not respond to grand gestures, it responds to repetition, it responds to the small quiet act of showing up again and again even when no one is watching, even when you do not feel like it. Chapter 4, Days 1 through 5, The Awareness Phase. The first 5 days are not about doing, they are about seeing. You cannot change what you do not notice. So your first task is to become a silent observer of your own mind. Every morning when you wake up, before you reach for your phone, sit upright in bed, plant your feet on the floor, take 3 slow deep breaths, and ask yourself one question. What is the first thought that just entered my mind? Write it down, do not judge it, just notice it. The first thoughts of the day are often the most revealing, they show you what your subconscious is occupied with. Throughout the day, set 3 alarms on your phone labeled check-in. When each alarm goes off, pause, close your eyes for 10 seconds, and ask, what am I feeling right now, what was I just thinking? You will be shocked. Most of your thoughts are repetitive, most of your emotions are reactive, most of your day is being lived by a version of you that you never consciously chose. Awareness is the first wire, it is the wire from which all other wires grow. Without it no transformation is possible. Chapter 5, Days 6 through 10, The Interruption Phase. Now that you can see your patterns, it is time to interrupt them. Every time you catch yourself in a negative thought loop, snap your fingers, or clap once, or say out loud the word stop. The physical gesture creates a pattern interrupt. It signals to your brain that something different is happening, it creates a tiny window of choice. Then immediately replace the thought. If you caught yourself thinking I am not good enough, replace it with I am learning and growing every day. You are not lying to yourself, you are simply giving your brain a new option. Over time that new option becomes the default. During these days also begin cold exposure. Each morning end your shower with 30 seconds of cold water, the kind of cold that makes you gasp. This is not punishment, this is training. Cold exposure activates your prefrontal cortex, increases dopamine by up to 250% for hours afterward, and teaches your nervous system how to remain calm in the presence of discomfort. The same nervous system that learns to stay calm under cold water learns to stay calm under criticism, under pressure, under fear. Chapter 6, Days 11 through 15, The Installation Phase. Now we begin installing new wiring. This is where most people give up because the brain resists change. You will feel bored, you will feel restless, you will want to quit. This is not failure, this is your old wiring fighting for its life. Push through. Each morning spend 10 minutes in complete silence. No music, no phone, just sit, breathe, observe your thoughts as they pass like clouds. This practice is called meditation, and it is the single most studied brain rewiring practice in human history. Within 2 weeks of daily meditation, MRI scans show measurable thickening of the prefrontal cortex, while the amygdala, your fear center, begins to physically shrink. Your brain physically changes in 2 weeks from 10 minutes of sitting still each day. This is not spirituality, this is biology. In the evening before sleep, spend 5 minutes writing in a journal. Answer 3 questions. What did I do well today? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? This activates the reticular activating system, the filter that decides what you notice. When you train it to look for growth and opportunity, it begins filtering your entire reality through that lens. Chapter 7, Days 16 through 20, The Strengthening Phase. By now you may notice subtle shifts. You react less, you think more, you feel more present. This is the new wiring beginning to take hold. Now we strengthen it. Each day do one thing that scares you. Make a phone call you have been avoiding, speak up in a meeting, talk to a stranger, try a food you have never tasted. The point is to expose your brain to novelty. Novelty triggers norepinephrine and dopamine, 2 neurochemicals essential for learning. Your brain is most plastic when it is uncomfortable. So lean into discomfort, because growth lives on the other side of fear. Also audit your inputs. What do you watch? What do you read? Who do you spend time with? Every input is shaping your neural architecture. Eliminate 3 things this week that drain you, and add 3 things that elevate you. A book that challenges your thinking, a podcast that opens your perspective, a walk in nature, a conversation with someone wiser than you. Your environment shapes your brain, curate it like your life depends on it, because it does. Chapter 8, Days 21 through 25, The Integration Phase. Around day 21 something powerful happens. The new behaviors start to feel natural. You no longer have to force yourself to meditate, you no longer dread the cold shower. The new wiring is becoming the default. But here is the trap. This is when people get cocky, they take a day off, then 2, then a week, and suddenly the old patterns come rushing back. Stay consistent, especially when motivation fades. Because motivation is a myth, it comes and goes like weather. Discipline is the truth, and discipline is nothing more than keeping promises to yourself. During these days add visualization. Each night before sleep, spend 3 minutes vividly imagining the person you are becoming. See yourself acting with confidence, responding calmly to challenges, living the life you desire in vivid detail. Your brain cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and real experience. When you visualize, you are pre-wiring your brain for the future you are creating. Olympic athletes use this, surgeons use this, the most successful people in every field use this. Chapter 9, Days 26 through 30, The Transformation Phase. You have arrived at the final stretch. By now your brain is fundamentally different than 30 days ago. New synaptic connections have formed, old pathways have weakened, your stress response is calmer, your focus is sharper, your inner voice has begun to soften. In this final phase your task is to teach. Share one thing you have learned with another person. Teaching is the highest form of learning because it forces your brain to consolidate the new wiring. When you teach, you become. Also reflect. Read through your journal entries from day 1. Notice how much you have changed, notice the fears that no longer control you. The brain needs evidence of progress to continue building momentum. And finally on day 30, do not stop. Choose one practice to continue forever. Just one. Whichever practice transformed you the most, make it a non-negotiable part of your daily life. This is how 30 days becomes a lifetime. Chapter 10, The Truth Nobody Tells You. Here is what no one will tell you. Rewiring your brain is not glamorous, it is not exciting. It is quiet, repetitive, often boring. There will be days when nothing seems to be happening, days when you wonder if any of this is working at all. It is working, I promise you. The changes happening inside your brain are real even when invisible. Trust the process, trust the science, trust yourself. The rewiring of your brain is one of the most profound acts of self-love you will ever commit. You are not just changing habits, you are reclaiming authorship of your own life. You are telling yourself that you refuse to be a passenger in your own existence. You are taking the wheel. You are not your thoughts, you are not your past, you are not your patterns. You are the awareness behind all of it, you are the one who can choose, in the space between stimulus and response, what comes next. And in that space lies your entire power. The power to choose, the power to change, the power to rewire. The brain you were born with is not the brain you must die with. Every breath is a new opportunity, every moment a fresh chance, every day another vote for the person you are becoming. So begin. Begin today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next month. Today, right now. Take one small action. Sit in silence for 60 seconds, write one sentence in your journal, take one cold breath. The smallest action repeated daily becomes the largest transformation. Your brain is waiting, your future self is waiting. The only question is, are you willing to begin? Thank you dear listener for spending this time with me. If this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, every thought is a vote, every habit is a wire, every day you are building the brain you will live inside tomorrow. Build it wisely, build it kindly, build it with love. Good night dear listener, and good beginning.